Hey everyone, Carrie Beck here with Homeschool Coffee Break, where we help stop the overwhelm so you can actually take a coffee break today. And I am here to help you do that. Now, we cover a multitude of topics. Most of them are they're all focused in some sort of thing about homeschooling, but we're in the middle of a 4 or 5 week series on life skills, the life skill of finances and business. Why am I doing this? Because I think it's one of the most important skills that we actually taught our kids while we were homeschooling. It is, well, let's face it, Jesus talked about money more than any other topic. And so I think it is something we have got to teach our kids. We get so wrapped up in the reading, writing, arithmetic, and I'm not putting that down, but I am just saying, hey, we need to pay attention. We need to give our kids the skills to not go into debt, to give them the skills to be able to make money on their own and not be dependent on a boss telling them what they can and can't do. I actually had a friend whose daughter quit her job. She'd been there for 10 or 20 years because of the social stance they were taking. And I don't even remember all of it. It had something to do with gender. She had to go find and do something different. I applaud her for taking a stand on her values. Not everyone would be able to do that. Some people are so like just living month to month that they have got to depend on that. So that's what we're talking about. Today we are talking about profit potential as a business owner, but also we're going to take a step back and look at how much money do you need each week, not each week, each month. So we are going to do a little bit of calculation. Even if you're not a math person, stay with me. I know you can do this. I will just tell you right now, before we dive into all of this, there is a boot camp open to be able to get started with an online business and have that foundation all planned out over a 5-day live workshop experience. This is not just a boot camp. This is like a series of implementation workshops, and I will be there with you. It is called Course Confident. I'll talk about it a little bit at the end, but if you do join me, I'm going to actually give you my course. It's $97, Create Your Own Side Hustle Income. And so I really want to make this something that will really work for you as well. So let's just talk about making money online. One of my favorite ways to do that, and why do I like the side hustle of online? It is low risk. I don't have to go get a loan out for a brick and mortar store. I don't have to go pay a bunch of rent. I don't have to sign a bunch of documents. I can just go on and get a website, a URL for like $10 a year. I can use free software to get that on there. I can actually I can buy something called Thrive Cart, and it will host my courses and be a shopping cart. And it's a one-time expense of about $1,000. So I don't even have to pay month to month. A lot of the month to months take $100. But that is so small compared to what it takes to go and start a business here in town. That is why I like it. The other reason I like it is freedom. So just think about it. If you were to start an online business, and specifically, I actually like digital courses because I think digital courses change your life. How could a digital course, how could an online business change your life? Whether you're listening to this on the live or the replay, put something in the chat, put something in the comments, wherever you are listening to it, and let me know, how could an online business change your life? Maybe it could free up your time. Maybe you could work from wherever in the world. Maybe you could scale your business to have impact, both impact-wise and income-wise. I will tell you something that happened to me last week. I got a call from my daughter who was in Dallas. Her husband had just left for about a 6-day business trip. He works with college athletics. And y'all know what last weekend was. It was the first weekend for all the college teams to play football. So he was off doing that. Well, they sort of had an emergency. Thank goodness I could just at noon pack up, turn my desktop off upstairs, pack up and drive 3 hours north and be with her up until yesterday. I was there to be able to just walk with her through some different issues that, health issues and things that were going on. That is what I call freedom. That is what I call being able to work from anywhere in the world. And I will tell you the other half. It is September now. I had already planned a vacation because it's just a good month for me to be able to take a vacation. I'm actually going to Portland, Maine for a week starting next week. But Hunter, my son, is going to be in El Salvador, where I have done ministry for years, and that's the following week. Booked a ticket for the next week to be gone as well. Now, that week in El Salvador, I will do a lot more work and all, but it will be awesome. It will be a work week, a ministry week, and a beach week. How fun is that? So, because I can work from anywhere. No matter where you are, whether you're looking for a side hustle to get started, maybe you already have a side hustle and you need an additional stream of income. Maybe you're working 9 to 5, which a lot of y'all aren't, but we got a lot of working moms in here, and you're looking for freedom to quit that 9 to 5, spend more time with your kids and homeschooling. An online business, a digital course might be just the thing that you need. Some of you are homeschooling and you just want to help out with the family expenses. I get it. This is where we might need to be. Some of you are working a side hustle. If you move forward from what you were doing and go online, how much could you make? That is what we're talking about. It is a very simple process. We're going to talk about some equations. Okay, you non-math people, don't freak out. I was actually a math minor. I don't really care about math as much anymore. But this is so simple, anyone can follow it. And I use this process when I launch my own courses. Now, before we're going to move right now into calculations, I want you to be thinking of some answers to some questions. Before we do that, I have a question. Have you ever shared this podcast with a friend? If not, please send it to someone just so they can get some support as a homeschool mom, as a stay-at-home mom, someone who's maybe dealing with some financial issues that could use some help. I would be forever grateful. And I believe what I'm about to share can really change people's lives. So what we want to start with is we want to start with some monthly income. This is where we're going to get into the math. It's not going to hurt, but there are 3 goals that you need to think about. Whenever you do a side hustle, no matter what side hustle you are doing. First, you need to think about a good goal, a great goal, and a big scary goal. So let's just talk about that good goal, something that you would just be simply happy with. Now, this is revenue. Let me define some terms. Revenue is the total money that you bring in your own business or working for someone else. Total revenue. Profit is all of that total income, and then we take out the expenses, and that is the profit. It's really important that when you are comparing numbers, you don't compare revenue numbers to profit numbers. And so whether you have your own business or not, you need to know the difference. Profit is basically the total less the expense. And that may be what you are actually able to use to actually work and pay bills. So what would be your good revenue total thing right now? Just think about it, write it down. You may need to pause this if you're listening to the replay. Think about this. Some of you are on a tight budget. You don't have a lot of money to invest in a business, and I understand that. And I want to help you spend as little as possible. And that is why I teach online businesses in so many areas. I'm just focusing on a digital course this month. What's a good goal that would cover maybe your rent or mortgage, your groceries? Just what would it take to get by? All right. Just write that down. If you want, you could go a step further and go, what would be some fun money so that you could go on a date with your spouse? That might be something to add. This is an important number, and if you don't know what that number is, you don't know how to get it, you are floundering financially, and you will never have financial freedom. You have got to know your numbers, even if you don't like numbers. I was an accounting major. It isn't always very much fun, especially when we first started back in 2003, but it is necessary to know what that number is. And it's hard to dream big if you don't even know what the number is. So that is your good goal. What is your great goal? This is the goal. You would dance a happy dance if you made this amount of money. All right. What would that be per month? And maybe this would cover all your expenses and you could quit that day job that you have to keep leaving your kids home homeschooling. All right. Maybe it'll cover all your expenses and you can finally feel like you are focusing on your kids. You're not focusing on all these other ways to make money as well. Write it down and be realistic right now, but we want to dream in the next goal. I'm not going to tell you that a great goal is $2 million because as a beginner and just getting started, that is just not realistic. So, we want to stay somewhat realistic. What would it take for you to become your own boss? And it may not be as big as you think. So we have a good goal, a great goal. Now, what's that scary goal? It could even be unreasonable. My daughter Ginger is reading a book called Unreasonable Hospitality, and that it's just really hit me, that idea of unreasonable. What would really push the limits to you? I know for me, even just making, I don't know, even $100,000 in profit. That would be profit, not revenue. It'd probably be $200,000 or $300,000 in revenue. That would be a big, scary goal for me. I don't make that much money, but I make enough money to cover all my expenses and to have extra money to go to Portland, Maine on a vacation, and now to go to El Salvador as well. So you need to write down those 3 goals. We're going to come back to those in a minute. Now, let's say that you are going to create a digital course. You're going to create something that you are going to sell online. And we're going to come up with price points. Don't freak out. I'm going to give you some help on how to create price points. And then we're going to figure out whether this is possible for you. Now, there are 3 kinds of digital courses, and I've already been through DCA Digital Course Academy. I learned this a few years ago. I'm going to share with you what I believe are 3 price points. And it really depends on what your knowledge is and are people asking you for this? Are you getting transformation for you, for others? So it really depends on some of those ideas, but also the content of your course. Let's start with the starter course. It's just going to get people started in whatever it is that they need help with. Maybe it is how to bake a perfect pie or how to choose the best approach to homeschooling. Usually these starter courses range from $9,700 to $200, somewhere in there, just to get them started. All right. The next one is a spotlight course where you dive really deep on a topic. That is my Raising Leaders, Not Followers. I am diving super deep into this topic, and that's why I can charge $200 for it. People didn't think that you could sell a course for $200 in the homeschool niche or even the faith-based, because Raising Leaders is Christian and homeschooling combined. And yes, I sell it for $200 each for the whole course. Usually a spotlight course is $200 to $500 a month. It is very specific and is detailed on a specific topic. The next one is a signature course. This is sort of the granddaddy of them all. You're going to give them everything they need to know to find transformation in this. And it usually is priced at, say, about $500 all the way up to maybe $3,000. That's a lot of money. All right. But this is possible. And, I see a lot of people in the real estate market, in the investment market. If you have knowledge in that, and some of you do, because I have some students in Raising Leaders that have come out of the financial investment group, you could come up with a signature granddaddy of them all course and charge $3,000. All right. Now, once you come up, just pick one and pick a price. You're not stuck with it. You can always make changes, but I will tell you this. After you do that, sort of take a look at your competition. You may be a little under or you may be a little over what everyone else is. Like I said, many people thought, Carrie, $200 for a how to homeschool course. And I'm like, yeah, but you know what? People are buying it because they see the transformation. There's a lot of things I do so that they see the value of it. All right. And so to think that you can't do it in the homeschool niche is just wrong. You may not want to do something in the homeschool niche. You may want to do something in the gardening niche. I just listened to Nicole, the one that I told you made $1 million on her first launch. She was in the gardening niche. I think she sold a course for $500 or $600. It was fascinating. And now she's using video and not buying advertising. That is amazing and just doing phenomenal. So starter, spotlight, signature. Choose which one it is. Just pick one. So you've got your 3 goals: money, good, great, scary. And then we've got what kind of course. So let's do some calculating. Even if you're not a math person, let us say your goal is to make $1,000 a month. We're going to keep it super simple. $1,000 a month, and you have a starter course that sells for $100. You need 10 students a month to enroll. That's it. Only 10. All right. Now, you're saying, yeah, but I'm going to have to spend some money to create this course. You are right. But once you make some of that initial investment, you can move forward. All right. You are not going to have, like right now, I do not have any more initial costs in my Raising Leaders. It is over and done with. In fact, it sits in Thrive Cart, which is my shopping cart, and my course members area. And I already paid for that 2 or 3 years ago. To pay anything except the processing fees. All right. And then maybe some masterclass fees as well. But overall, my expenses have reduced, meaning my profits have increased. So Digital Course Academy can teach you how to launch over and over again so that you, and which I highly believe, and I follow that model. So I have a big launch in May, and then I have flash sales in March and August. There's some strategy and all of that. So I do launch several times a year as well. That is what we're talking about. So the next one, maybe you have a signature course and it sells for $500 and you only need 2 students a month to enroll. 2 students. Now, probably you're going to get more than 2 students, but 2 students. Let's say you get 10 students. That'd be $5,000 a month. If you went to 20, that'd be 10,000. We could just keep going on and on. But I believe that if you follow the DCA model and you grow your list, you grow social, you get more and more people listening to you, you can easily sell 2 a month. You could probably grow that above that so as well. And you will be amazed at what people can do that have a 9-to-5 job. It is just awesome to see what they are doing. Now, even if you have a small number of students, it can change your life. Even for me, I only bring in about 15 to 20 students for my launches. And yet that is good. That can be like $4,000 right there. That can cover a lot of family expenses as well. I'm not talking making $100,000 on one launch or like Nicole's 1 million launch, although that is very inspiring to me and it makes me really go, okay, here's what I could do. So I'm not going to tell you how to make $1 million. You can go listen to Nicole. Some of you would be rolling your eyes at me if I started telling you that. Now, I have some homework for you, but before I do that, I want to tell you about 2 ladies. The first one is Michelle Kenny, and this one is parenting. The next one is baking. And let me just, you're going to be amazed. Okay. Michelle is a certified parent instruction, and she said her life totally changed since she took Digital Course Academy. She is making great money, but not just that. What she is finding out is she is setting a great example for her daughters. She says one of the best things about selling a course is the pride that her daughter is taking. And when she says, Dad, Mom, I'm so proud of you. You see, before being a stay-at-home mom, Michelle's a stay-at-home mom, she was a teacher and a high school counselor. And she thought with her teaching experience and her master's degree in education, she thought parenting would be a breeze. Well, let me tell you, as you all know, it turned out to be a lot harder. And this is how she and her daughter work, just hitting heads. Then she discovered something called hand-in-hand parenting. And she said it was a parenting method that she loved. It completely changed the way she parented. In fact, it changed so much that she went and got certified as a hand-in-hand instructor. Well, she began her own online business, just consulting people one-on-one and growing your Instagram page. But she had a big problem. She said, I had to figure out a way to get my message out to more people at a more affordable price than my one-on-one coaching, because that's expensive. And so that's where her digital course came in. She began to follow Amy Porterfield and the Digital Course Academy. She created 3 different courses to help moms. She has launched 2 of those courses, and guess how much she's made? $19,380 from 2 courses. She's getting ready to launch her 3rd course. She's so excited, as she was telling us. And she said, without Digital Course Academy, there was no way I would be able to do this, because Digital Course provided a plan and the steps that I needed to create my course and make it successful. A lot of people tell you how to make a course, or a lot of people may tell you how to launch it, but how to do it together, this is amazing. She said, thanks to Amy's webinar and list building strategies, all of a sudden she went from an audience of 200 to 2,000 people in 2 months. 2,000 people on list. That's exciting. And that's what I love about DCA. It has everything that I need to be able to launch my course and to make money, to be able to stay within my budget, and to be able to understand what my revenue is, and to give me the freedom to be able to do what God has called me to do, basically. I know, just like Michelle, her life has totally changed. And she says she loves being a wonderful example to her 15-year-old daughter, who says she's so proud of me. Now, if you're not sure about investing in DCA, that's going to be in September. Michelle says just do it, but I've got a different idea for you. I would really encourage you, if you're still not sure, to just sign up for the Course Confident Bootcamp. It's only $47. You can dip your toe in it. You'll get the entire foundation, and you will have it done when you finish this bootcamp. I promise you, I will hold your hand and walk with you as well. So that is something, that is one person. The other one I will go quickly is Edna Coaches. She had always dreamed of being a chef and a baker. And she said, I always wanted to. It took many years. Eventually, I became a chef and a baker, and I started having classes inside her home. But it was like they loved it. But all of a sudden, she wanted to reach more people. That was her goal. And she knew more people would do it, but it was just hard for them to do it. And then she's like, but if I do cooking classes, I've got to have all this video tech. I'm going to have to spend all this money and make high quality videos. But I went for it anyway. And she's from Panama, so she decided, and you may not be able to do this, mi español es muy mal, but she recorded her course in Spanish. So she was targeting a specific audience. She signed up for the Digital Course Academy, and she just never looked back. It was so exciting to hear from her. But well, I shouldn't say that. She had her social media following. She did everything exactly like Amy said. She didn't look back at the end of her launch, because at the beginning of her launch, she had a big goose egg. No one signed up after her first webinar, but she said, okay, I'm going to do it. She did a second one, and she did a third egg. Here's when she never looked back. She had 38 new students. She brought in $29,900. That is something in 1 week. She said, I'm finally able to work from home and create what I want, to have the time to be a mom. Y'all know what I'm talking about, to be a mom and enjoy my kids. This is priceless. So if you are interested in that boot camp that I keep talking about, you can go to familyebiz.com/bootcamp course. I will put that wherever you're listening to. You should be able to click the link. I would love to hear from you about what your revenue goal is, your good, great, and scary, if you're willing to share it. I would love to hear from you what kind of course you might do. And if, let's just say, online courses aren't really what your side hustle is, leave something as a comment. Let me know what you're thinking about. Maybe that's not for you. Maybe I can help you in some other way, be able to bring in some extra revenue for your family as well. So thank you for spending time with me. If you have any questions, let me know. Go to familyebiz.com/bootcamp course. I am Carrie back with Homeschool Coffee Break. We'll talk to you next time.